Yeah, my mic is upside down, but yeah, I'm trying. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to Wonderful Wednesday. Yeah, today we're going to focus on our nerves. So nerves actually need to be stretched so that they elongate, that they glide, and angulate. In fact, a nerve can actually move 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to talk about different nerves, but basically, central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord, your peripheral nervous system, your periphery, arms and legs. So we are going to focus on these things, but let's start just by warming up our spine. So come on onto your backs. We're not going to need any props today. Come on onto your back, draw your knees up in towards your chest, press your lower back into the floor. Knees, feet, thighs glued together, arms out to the side, shoulder height. Tilt your chin towards the center of your chest to elongate the back of your neck. Now, one thing that's interesting when we practice today is that when we want to innervate our nerves, it's not about going for gold. It's more about a gentle flossing. So because that's really what it is. So let's just take our knees gently over to the left side, turn your head to the right, and I'll remind you when we're doing the specific exercises just to be a little more gentle. So keep that right shoulder on the mat. Feel that twist, stretch through your oblique muscles. Feel your abdomen engage as you bring your knees back to the center, keeping them glued together. Exhaling, taking both knees over to the right, head to the left. Again, feel the stretch through the lower back. Now you may not feel as much on one side. This is normal. We're typically not balanced one side to the other because we favor or we may have injured one side. As you come back to center, one more time, taking both knees over to the left. Keep your feet, knees, everything glued together. Opposite shoulder stays on the mat. And your head turns towards that opposite shoulder, opposite your knees. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, both knees over to the right, head to the left. Notice a little more mobility in the lower back. Breathe. Inhale, come back to center. And let's take a happy baby pose for a nice stretch for the hamstrings. So bring your arms inside your legs. Take hold of your insteps. If you can grab your insteps, if you can't grab your insteps, maybe it'll be easier to grab the outside of your foot, but keep your arms inside your legs and then attempt to bring your ankles directly over your knees. So you might want to have a look. Basically, your lower leg will be perpendicular to the floor. Your knees are outside of your rib cage. So this is a nice, soft, safe stretch here for your hamstrings. Hamstrings tend to be very tight, and therefore they're prone to ripping and tearing. Any muscle that's tight is more prone to ripping and tearing unless you're just taking it easy, sitting around, laying around all day. But it's spring. You want to get out and start doing some things because that lockdown's going to end pretty soon. We need to be ready. Actually, I'm going to send you guys a really funny video that I saw yesterday. I might try and send it to you today, called The End of Lockdown. Okay, so breathe into those hamstrings. Don't hold your breath. Breathe. Ah. Maybe you're feeling those hamstrings, letting go just a little bit. Might want to wiggle your toes here. So, of course, signs that we have nerve damage or nerve impediment: tingling, burning, numbness. Okay, and let's keep the knees bent. Place the feet flat on the floor. Bring your arms beside your body. And one more little warm up for our spinal column. Lift your shoulder blades and tuck them under your heart. And then feel more open in your chest. Again, tilting your chin towards the center of your chest to lengthen the back of your neck. Press the small of your back into the floor. Peel your spine off the floor, lifting hips, bum, pressing the pelvis, thighs up. Feel nice stretch here in the front of your hip flexors. We're also going to be talking about the femoral nerve. So your femur is your largest bone. That would be the upper leg bone. We're going to be talking about and flossing the femoral nerves. Basically, we're going to be flossing our nervous system. If I can just use that. Most of you have flossed. I actually love a water pick. I know we're getting into teeth now, but you know what? Taking care of your gums are actually more important than taking care of your teeth, because the gums support healthy teeth. So if you're not flossing, you better be water pick, or vice versa. Okay, so you're coming back down onto the floor, one vertebra at a time, and exhale. And again, on an inhale, press the small of your back into the floor, peel your spine off the floor, and send those thighs, hips upward. Stretching the muscles of the front of the thigh, purging the throat area of impurities, bacteria, toxins, and waste. It's interesting that during this whole pandemic, there's been very little emphasis on the immune system. I'm not saying it can prevent it entirely, but I would say that it is important to have a strong immune system, and then slowly bring your back down onto the floor. And remember, weeks ago, we talked about humming as a way of bring your knees in towards your chest. So if you can hum and get the humming up towards your sinuses, and just do a little rocking from side to side here, or you can make big circles on your back, just a nice little massage. You place your, back to the humming thing, you place your fingertips on your sinuses. So that would be around the top of your cheekbones, and you bring your humming wherever it feels like it's vibrating around your sinuses. This produces nitric oxide in your nasal passages, because that's where the virus enters, in through your nasal passages. And it sits there for a couple of days. Nitric oxide can destabilize the coronavirus and prevent it from entering in towards your throat, and of course, then ultimately into your chest. So there are things that we can do. Think of yoga as medicine, everybody. That's the way I like to think of it. Okay, now we are going to do one move before we go into our sun salutations. So again, you're going to keep your feet flat on the floor, knees are bent. I want you to bring your right knee towards you and bring your hands underneath the backs of your thighs. And here I want you to flex your toes, flex your feet, okay? Flex your entire foot, not just your toes. We're working on the sciatic nerve here. So there's always a top and a bottom. When we flex our feet and we hold this position with the knee bent, we're actually innervating the sciatic nerve that goes and ends down towards the foot. So I don't believe the sciatic nerve goes right into the foot, but it goes towards the foot, down towards the ankle. So by flexing the foot, This is the first part of this exercise of flossing your sciatic nerve. Okay, now we're going to straighten that same right leg, and you're going to point the foot, and you don't need to lock the knee. It doesn't have to be uber straight. This is where we practice gentleness. Now we're sending extra blood supply and movement so that we're actually gliding the sciatic nerve by straightening the leg, pointing the foot, and now we're going to bend the leg and flex the foot. So we're just working on the right leg here. Keep your hands and fingers interlocked behind the back of your thigh, and then inhale, straighten the leg without locking the knee, and point the foot. So we're going to do this 3 more times. This is flossing your sciatic nerve. Okay, and then bend the leg, flex the foot on the exhale, and then inhale, straighten the leg, point your toes, and exhale, bend the knee. So the upper leg is stable, it's not moving. You're just articulating the knee and the ankle joint by flexing the foot when the knee is bent, and inhale, straighten the leg and point the foot. Now the sciatic nerve, of course, goes all the way up to your spine. We'll deal with the rest of that. So we're just dealing it from the knee down to the ankle. This is the last time. Bend the leg on the exhale, flex your foot, and inhale. Straighten the leg and point the foot. And exhale and release and bring that leg to the floor. Inhale, bring your left knee towards you, interlock your fingers behind the back of your thigh. Okay, so flex the foot in the bent knee position. Inhale, straighten, and point the foot. So the gliding motion is, what I'm calling the flexing. Exhale and bend the leg, flex the foot. Inhale, straighten the leg and point the foot. Exhale, bend the leg and flex the foot. Inhale, straighten the leg and point the foot. Exhale, bend the leg, flex the foot. And last time, inhale, straighten the leg and point the foot. Let's take the other leg up, bring your arms beside your body, and let's just mobilize the ankle joints here by flexing and pointing, flexing and pointing. How about engaging your core here? Feel your core. If you're not sure, touch your muscles, see if they're engaged. Do engage them. So we're just pointing and flexing and pointing and flexing. And now let's rotate. Lubricating the joints. Draining the legs of pooled blood at the ankles. Whether we're sitting or standing, that blood is pooling. And we're usually doing one or the other, sitting or standing. So by getting your legs up into the air, you reverse the blood flow. All right, that will do. Place your hands underneath the backs of your thighs, and let's rock up and come on over onto all fours. Okay, we all know cat and cow, but this time we're going to deal with the median nerve. So this is your spinal nerve, and let me make sure I'm pretty, it won't matter if I had the wrong name for the nerve, but okay, spinal cord nerve. You'd be working it anyway. So here's the deal. So this is the tube of your central nervous system. Now, normally when we do cat-cow, we know that when we round the spine, we tuck the chin. Well, we're going to do it differently here to innervate and help to floss the spinal cord nerve. So what we're going to do is that when we round the spine, we're actually going to lift the head. Now, this is going to feel weird because you're used to doing it differently, of course. So you're rounding the spine and you're lifting your head. And now we're going to hollow out the lower back. Normally we would lift the head, but now we're going to tuck it. So this is flossing again, elongating, gliding the spinal cord nerve, working the different ends. So I have to think it's rounding the spine and lifting the head, and then hollow out the lower back and tuck the chin. So it's just the head is moving in the opposite direction. Round your spine and lift your head. And then hollow out your lower back and tuck your chin. We'll do this 2 more times. Sorry, you didn't probably want to use your brain this much this morning, but your spinal cord will thank you. So rounding and lifting your head. Hollow out your lower back and tuck your chin. Last time. Round your back and lift your head. Hollow out your lower back and tuck your chin. Great. Okay. Curl your toes under and lift your hips up. And press your chest towards your legs to lengthen your spine. And let's just pedal the feet or walk the dog. Give your head, your neck, a little bit of a shake from side to side, maybe forwards and backwards. Remember, as you're bending one leg and straightening the other, I want you to feel the stretch in the back of your leg, the one that's straight. Change. Keep that neck relaxed now because we just worked it a lot. One more time, changing. Last time, change. Lovely. Walk your feet towards your hands. Let your torso rest and hang. Let the weight of your head now really stretch out your cervical vertebra. Be nice and loose here. Let your arms hang. You're keeping your knees bent. Your torso's resting on your thighs, kind of like a gorilla here. Okay, now let's begin our ascent. Stacking one vertebra on top of the next. Keep your chin tucked into your chest. Let your head be the last thing to align with the rest of your spine. Okay. So let's proceed now to the front of our mats for Surya Namaskar. Beautiful day today. I'm enjoying this spring. I know it's been a little cool, but it slows everything down. In my opinion, it's very tantric. So I hope you're enjoying it too, rather than having it all pop and blow. That's the difference in sex, in orgasm. Lots of people, it's like, oh yeah, let's go. No, slow things down. Enjoy yourself. Okay, I digress. Inhale, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart, arms up, reach up, look up, arc back, stretch the front of your spine. Inhale, bring your feet back towards one another, lift up out of your waist, hinge from your hips, stretch, reach forward, bring your fingertips to the floor and let your head hang. Step that right leg back and drop it to the mat. Bring your torso directly over your hips. Make sure it stays there. Bring your hands onto your front thigh. You can stay here, but if you wish to take that back knee off the floor, press through the back heel. That anchors. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Or you can keep your knee on the floor if you're feeling that balance is too much. I don't know if Miss Jane Wilson is here with us this morning. You may want to keep that knee on the floor, Jane. Don't want you to fall over and break the Limoges vase. Okay, turn your hands forward, Spread your fingers apart, bring them to the floor, take that other leg back, draw your heart center towards your thumbs. I'd rather that your bum was poking up than you were sagging down. No. So you can bring your knees to the floor and cross your feet at the ankles if this is too much pressure on your wrists. Of course, carpal tunnel syndrome is another issue for nerves. Parkinson's, obviously, is a nerve disease, as is dementia, although some people may say it's vascular. But you know what? Think of yoga as your medicine, as your preventative medicine. You take vitamins, you eat well, practicing yoga, the trifecta. Okay, release your knees to the floor. Flatten the tops of your feet. Take your buttocks way back. Bring your belly onto your thighs. Stay really low here, stretching your arms out in front. What a lovely stretch for your shoulders. And then release your forearms and elbows to the floor. They may not stay there, but please don't move your hands. Keep them where they are. Slowly come forward. Stay nice and low. For those of us who might be spending too much time in front of computers with rounded, hunched shoulders, this is excellent as a counter activity to your hunched, rounded shoulders. This also very much helps to keep the integrity of your spine. Keep it mobile and flexible. Slide everything out behind you. Align the edges of your fingertips with the edges of your shoulders. Place your forehead on the mat. Bring your elbows into your rib cage and then push your forearms down to the floor. Roll an invisible alley with your nose until you're looking straight down at your mat. Press your hips and pelvis into the mat, and on an inhale, lift just the upper body without using your hands. Baby cobra. Breathe. So obviously you're feeling the muscles of the lower middle back working. This is also therapeutic for your stress glands. Is Jane Wilson with us this morning? Or she's not out of bed yet? Okay. Well, snooze, you lose. One more inhale, lifting. Exhale, come all the way down. Curl your toes under and lift your hips up. Walk your feet a few inches forward. Bend your knees, press your belly to your thighs. Press your chest towards your knees, pressing all 10 fingers into the mat a lot. And now straighten your legs as much as you can. As your heels descend towards the mat, they may not touch, it doesn't matter. Not the point, but you should be feeling a good stretch in the backs of your lower legs. Breathe into that area. The more you press your heels down, the more you're getting a nice stretch. Lift the right leg up in the air. Look at your right hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can. Or you pick it up at the ankle, drop the other knee, and move the foot forward. Other leg comes forward. Let your head hang. Uttanasana. Okay, engage your thighs, pull your bellies in, bring your arms beside your ears. Inhale, sweep up, feet apart for balance. Reach up, look up, and arc back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side and up. Bring your palms together. Exhale into Anjali Mudra. And remember, this is a nice stretch here for your carpal tunnel nerves. Okay, let's do one more round. She is? Oh, good. Okay. You're up and about, Jane. Good for you. Inhale, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart. Arms up, reach up, look up, and arc back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hinge from your hips, reaching forward, fingertips to the floor. Please let your head hang here. Do not hold it up. Step your left leg back, drop the knee to the mat. Bring your shoulders directly over your hips and bring your hands onto your front thigh. This is where, if you choose, you can keep your knee on the floor or you can lift it off the floor, but press through that back heel. Inhale, sweeping up. Activate those fingers. They're not limp, they are active. Focus your gaze for balance. Find a spot on the wall and breathe. Remember, there's the greatest amount of prana in the air in the springtime, so this is the perfect time to get outside and do some deep breathing in nature, not necessarily on a main street of Toronto. Okay, bring your hands to the floor. Other leg back. Draw your heart center towards your thumbs. Plank, push-up position. Okay, breathe. Pressing all 10 fingers into the mat. Reaching forward with the crown of your head. Reaching through your heels at the back. Engaging your core, or your knees are on the floor with your ankles crossed in the air. Keep breathing here. Release your knees. Flatten the tops of your feet. Take your buttocks way back. Feel a nice stretch through your arms. And then release your forearms and elbows to the floor. Take your time here. Stay low as you can go. And when you can, release your chest and your chin onto the mat. I know it feels awkward, but there are tremendous benefits in this posture. Not to mention the virtue of humility. And slide everything behind you. A lot of people think vulnerability and humility might be signs of weakness. They are not. They are signs of tremendous courage. To be transparent, to be open, to be human. Place your forehead on the mat. Align the edges of your fingertips with the edges of your shoulders. Bring your elbows into your side body and press your forearms down towards the floor. Please notice, lift your elbows off the floor again and forearms. Pay attention here to your shoulder blades. This is my latest cue now for how to really open up the front of the body and get your shoulders back. Notice when you press your forearms and elbows to the floor that your shoulder blades are descending towards your sacrum. Okay, you may try the fuller expression of cobra or stay with the baby cobra, your choice here. But roll an invisible alley with your nose to lengthen your neck. And then if you're going for the fuller expression, you're pushing the floor away from you. If you're staying with baby cobra, you're really using your back muscles to lift you up. Don't let your elbows wing out. Keep your wrists, elbows, and shoulders aligned. Have a look if you're not sure. But there's a tendency for elbows to wing out and shoulders to come up to your ears. Don't let that happen. Breathe. Eyes can be opened or closed, gazing up towards your third eye. If you're buying Bitcoin or any crypto, it might help you know whether the thing is going up or down. Kidding. It's going to go up and down. Okay, one more inhale, up. Now lengthen as you lower. Curl your toes under and lift your hips up. Walk your feet a few inches forward. Bend your knees. Press your belly onto your thighs. Press your chest towards your knees. Your spine should be nice and long here. Your ears are aligning with your inner arms. You're pressing all 10 fingers into the mat so much that you have space, a dome, underneath your hands, the palm of your hands. So there's space there. Okay, let's exhale. As you exhale, take your sits bones further back and press the heels towards the floor. So you should be in an inverted V here. You know there are a multitude of benefits in downward facing dog. You're getting extra blood supply to your brain, your face, your endocrine system, getting incredible energy here from the earth telluric energy. Although if you're on the 18th floor of an apartment, I'm not exactly sure how that works, but maybe that telluric energy feeds up through the girders of a building. Don't know. Lift that left leg up in the air. Look towards your left hand and swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other foot forward. Let your head hang. Bring your arms beside your ears. Pull your bellies in. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Inhale. Sweep up. Feet apart for balance. Reach up. Look up and arc back. Inhale. Stretch up. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up and overhead. Bring your palms together and bring them down into Anjali Mudra. Flat out and relaxing. Lie down, take a little sip of water if you need. And then bring your body into Shavasana for a moment to allow the benefits to be integrated and for me to talk to you a little bit more about your nerves. Everybody knows it's not what happens to us. It's our reaction to what's happening. So most of you know I'm in the middle of a move right now. And that is a very disruptive thing to be going through. But life is full of endings and beginnings. And this is a new adventure. So, you know, if I look at it that way, I could look at it a lot of different ways. It's not easy, but I'm trying to be very positive about it. And that helps me move through this. So as you're lying on the floor, please turn your palms up in the open and receiving position. This broadens the chest. It externally rotates your arm because normally we're internally rotated in our arms with our typing and reading and feeding and whatever we're doing with our hands. So we want to have some counteractive movement and motion. So turn your palms up to externally rotate your arms. Tilt your chin just towards the center of your chest to lengthen the back of your neck. Close your eyes. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. When we do this, it helps the jaw relax. We're not even aware sometimes of how much tension we're holding in our faces. Just by separating the biting surfaces of the teeth, you can let some of that tension in your face go away. So nerves are like wires. They're connecting the brain with all the parts of your body. And of course, they're transmitting messages from your brain, you know, to get your muscles to activate and move body parts. So that's sort of the 101. We have sensory nerves. We have motor nerves. A spasm is when a nerve is actively contracting very, very quickly and continuously. So that's a muscle spasm. Like most nerves, the sciatic nerve is both sensory and motor. So sensory nerve pain symptoms are pain, tingling, numbness, burning, pressure. That's a sensory nerve. Whereas motor nerve symptoms are weakness. So, you know, and it's interesting because I've had some issues with my right knee. I've never had sciatica pain, but I'm starting to get the feeling that it could have something to do with sciatica. It's a motor nerve, right? It's got both. And I feel a weakness sometimes in the right side of my body. So I'm still working on this to check it out. Now, I want to tell you that taking care of your nerves, which we're doing today in this class, but from a vitamin standpoint, vitamin B1, which is thiamine, B6, and B12, all important. If you eat any animal products at all, you're getting B12. Don't worry about it. You only need a minute amount, so really I don't recommend anybody need to take the B12. You can look into your food sources for B1, B6. Also, fish oil. That is the most important supplement that I actually know of and believe in. So fish oil is excellent. And and you're getting your omega-3 fatty acids, so salmon, sardines, mackerel, cod liver oil, chia flax, walnut, and please, vitamin D when you're not getting enough sun is really important. And if you're slathering yourself with a whole bunch of the stuff that blocks the sun, you may still need vitamin D because it's one of the most important vitamins. I have to throw that one in there. Okay, so we are going to continue here with flossing and taking care of our nerves. So we've got a couple of more postures to do here. From your posture of being on your back, we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest. Place your hands underneath the backs of your thighs, and let's rock up and come on over onto your tummy, coming into Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose, just again to get this right, because I love teaching and I love learning, so I'm learning a lot as well. I keep learning. What's the point of being alive if we're not going to keep learning? So we're going to lift one leg off the floor at a time. So bring your elbows underneath your shoulders and your forearms straight out in front. So we all know Sphinx pose. Alrighty. And this is targeting the femoral nerve. So that is the nerve that innervates the femoral bone. This largest bone in our body, the femur, hence femoral nerve. Okay, so lifting the head up, let's lift the right leg up. Lift your right leg up. You can relax the foot, it doesn't matter what it's doing. You're going to feel your hamstrings activating here. And lower it down, and then let your head hang. Just let your head hang for a moment. You can swing it either way. Okay, inhale the head back up. Let's lift the other leg up, head up too. Breathe. Relax the foot. Lifting the leg, one more lift. Exhale. As the leg comes down, let your head hang. Inhale, right leg up. Head up. Don't crank it too much. Just lift the head, lift the leg, relax the foot, breathe. And exhale, head down, leg down. Inhale, left leg up, head up. So it's recommended to do this 5 to 10 times on either side, but because of time restrictions, and I'm letting you hold it a little bit longer, let's exhale and release and let your head hang down. So we're going to do one more on each side. Inhale the right leg up, head up. Working against gravity, of course, always activates the heart, cardiovascular system. Got to work a little harder to fight against gravity. One more lift. Exhale, lower that leg and lower your head. And then inhale, lifting the left leg up and the head comes up. Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears. I just noticed mine were creeping towards my ears. And release and let your head hang. And at this point, give your head a little bit of swing here to relax the neck. So side to side in the yes, no, forward, backwards. Okay. Alrighty. So the next one we're going to do is place your hands underneath your shoulders. Come on up. This is going to target both the femoral nerve and the sciatic nerve. Okay, so we're going to place our right foot forward into our low lunge. Bring your hands onto the floor. Actually, place your hands on your front thigh. And then straighten the front leg And bring your hands to the floor. So remember, you're not working it too hard. You're not straightening it a lot. You're just straightening. This is flossing both the femoral and the sciatic nerve. You can curl your back toes under. Let's come back to bending, low lunge. So coming forward. So this now gets up into the sciatic nerve where it starts around your L5, your lower lumbar. And bring your hands to the floor and flatten the foot of the back leg as you round your spine. And lower your torso onto your thigh. So you're not exactly straightening the leg, you're keeping a little bend. And one more time, coming into the lunge. Bring your hands onto your front thigh. And last time, we'll just do 3 on each side. You're straightening your front leg as much as you can. Remember, this is all about being preventative. Okay, place your hands on the floor, curl your back toes under, and come on up into down dog and just pedal out your feet. Really rocking those hips from side to side. Come on down onto your knees and step your left knee forward. And let's come into the low lunge on the other side. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor. As you straighten that front leg, lower your chest on it. And come forward again into your low lunge. So we're gliding, we're letting these nerves, fibers, creating the right amount of tension and release from one end to the other. Obviously, everything in nerves has an end and a beginning of it, or at least 2 different ends. You could call it that rather than an end and a beginning. But they have 2 ends. So stretching and releasing. Let's come forward again into the lunge. And I think this is the 3rd time. Last time here. Rounding the back, straightening the front of the leg, releasing your head. Okay. Take your knees wide apart here. Big toes touch, flatten the tops of your feet. Slowly press we're going to come into modified child's pose here. Slowly take your buttocks back towards your heels. Way back, and then release your torso between your thighs. If you can, rest your forehead on the floor. If you need height, you can make a pillow with your forearms and then rest your forehead on your forearms. Breathe in towards your side and back ribs. So remember, the body is, self-healing, self-regulating. You actually have an inner chiropractor and physiotherapist when you practice yoga. As I said, you can think of yoga as your medicine. So inhale, come on up. Curl your toes under and let's just sit back. We haven't done this in a while. Oh boy, my heels aren't pretty. How are yours? So curling your toes under, sit back. If that's too intense, and it may be for some of you, Come on up onto your knees, but keep your toes curled under, please. And just breathe. But this stretches the arch, keeps some spring in your foot. Clearly, if we're not stretching our feet, then we're just plodding along. And the harder we plod, the harder it is on our joints. So if our feet are nice and flexible, it's easier on our joints. Come on over onto your back before we come up to our other standing postures. Let's do our inversion. Now, if you're not feeling that you wish to do a full shoulder stand, remember you can take your block. I'm grabbing my Runa here. And actually, that sale at Real Things has been extended. I think she was so overwhelmed, she's just had to make a bunch of things. I have to tell you guys, I love this Runa, okay? Yeah, there's so many uses for it. It's incredible. So I'm using it folded over in case I'm saying if some of you don't want to go into full shoulder stand, I still wish that you get your legs up in the air to practice at least a half inversion. Arms beside your body. My mic has dislodged itself, so 1 second while I just clip that again. Okay, lift the legs up, coming halfway over. Holding your hips with your hands. Drop your knees towards your forehead, heels to bum. Walk your hands up towards your waist. And then slowly lift the legs up. Coming into shoulder stand, Sharvangasana, reversing the blood flow, 75% of it now bathing everything above the heart. Your endocrine glands are producing your hormones. We are hormonal beings. Taking care of those takes care of a lot of issues in the body, because the issues end up in the tissues. Take your legs wide apart, carefully, slowly. Lower them down over behind your head. Slowly stretching and releasing. Inhale the legs back up. Wide leg shoulder stand. Exhale, lower the legs down over behind the head. This also stretches your spine big time. Halasana pose. By practicing this frequently, you can increase some of the height that you have lost due to compression, due to the force of gravity, due to poor posture. Inhale, legs up. Last time, carefully lower the legs down over behind your head. Or if this is too much pressure, keep your legs in the air. Bring your legs over behind your head. Release your hands to the floor and slowly, with control, lower your torso back down onto your mats and slowly lower your legs all the way down. Okay, lift and tuck your shoulder blades under your heart. Just gently roll your head to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale your head to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale in place and let your lower back just drop. Inhale in place. Exhale. Draw the right knee up and interlock your fingers 2 inches below the knee, pressing it in towards your chest. Take the left hand on the outside of the right knee, draw it across your body, rolling onto your right hip, or pardon me, your left hip, stretching through that right hip and thigh. Breathe into it. Don't do too much. Don't do too little. Practice mindfully. with awareness, respect, and compassion. But feel the stretch. Maybe it's your glutes are tight from gardening, maybe your hips, maybe your IT band. Breathe into the place that's holding the most amount of tension and stress. Breathe into it. Inhale, bring that knee back to center. Exhale, extend it down in front, arms beside your body. Inhale, in place. Exhale, draw the opposite knee up. Interlock your fingers 2 inches below the knee, and let's press down, pressing into the descending colon, and then place your right hand on the outside of your left knee as you draw it across your body, rolling onto your right hip. And you might notice a difference. Again, one side to the other. One side may be tighter. Getting to know your body is something else that yoga provides. You also develop greater awareness. With awareness, we have more capacity for healing, whether it is physical, emotional, or psychological. I was going to say awareness is a different form of education. You can look at awareness as a type of education, but it's a singular solo journey, our own awareness. Nobody is going to have awareness for us. We have to have it for ourselves. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, send that leg out in front. And just breathe here for a moment. Turn your palms up in the open and receiving position to feel fine vibrations of energy flowing through your body. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Bring your hands underneath the backs of your thighs. And let's rock up to a seated position. Okay. First one, we are going to do a form of standing splits, and this targets the sciatic nerve once again. So you're coming onto your hands and knees. You're going to keep your knees bent, and you're going to bring your right knee here, your right knee into your left calf. So right knee into left calf. Your hands are on the floor, right knee into left calf. Keep your foot flat on the floor here. And then as you straighten the right leg, come up onto the ball of your left foot. Exhale, bend both knees, bring that right knee into your left calf. Working again, flossing that sciatic nerve. Inhale, come up onto the ball of the foot, straighten the right leg. Exhale, bend the knees, bring that right knee into your left calf, touching it. Last time, inhale, come up onto the ball of the foot. Straightening the right leg, exhale, come on all the way down. And let's come down onto our knees for a moment. Uncurl your toes, flatten the tops of your feet, and let's come into child's pose proper here. Just release your forehead to the floor. Again, if you need to create some height, fold and make a pillow with your forearms. But if your forehead can go onto the floor, do so and bring your arms around the side of your body. And then we're going to do the other side of Urdhva, Prasarita, Ekapada Raja, Kapotasana. So it's a standing split. Okay, let's try the other side here. Bring the hands in front. Curl the toes under, keep the knees bent. You're going to bring your left knee in towards your right calf. The right foot is mostly flat on the floor, but it may not be totally flat on the floor. And then come up onto the ball of the right foot as you lift your left leg up. And bending. Bring that left knee into right calf. Inhale, leg up. Exhale, knee to calf. And inhale, left leg up, come up onto the ball. And bring that leg down. And let's walk the hands now towards the feet. Keep the knees soft. Let your head hang. Slowly roll up. We'll do one more here. This is for the median nerve. So this is going to be Virabhadrasana 2, but a variation again to work the median nerve. So step your legs one leg length apart. And we only have to do it on one side to work the median nerve. Turn your right foot 90 degrees and then pivot on the ball of your back foot so it's about 20 degrees forward. Bend your front knee. Take your arms out to the front. Now, you're going to take your back hands and you're going to turn those fingers back. So the edges of your hands right now or the fronts of your hands are facing the front of the side of your mat. But take your back arm and turn those hands back. Front arm turns forward, okay? And then you're going to lean your head towards your back arm with the hands that are pointing back. Fingers, hands pointing back. Inhale, and now take the hands back to neutral. Take your front hands and turn those hands back. So you're just bending at the wrist. Then your back hand, you're pointing fingers forward. And now you're going to take your head and just tilt it towards your front arm. Inhale, come back to center. Turn your feet so that they're both pointing forward and slightly out. Hinge from your hips. Fold halfway forward. Tabletop your back. Tent your fingers below your face. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Twist, turn, reach up, stretch up, and look up. Exhale, float that arm down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up, reaching up, stretching up, and looking up. Exhale, float the arm down. Let's lunge over to the left side, bringing bum close to heel, up and over to the other side, and back into the center. Walk your feet in and bring yourself down, flat out and relaxing. Don't miss this part. Anybody? Including you, Jane. She doesn't like to be still in this way. She likes being still. Okay, so bring yourself into Shavasana. I'm sitting here for a moment. Shake anything out, make any adjustments that you need to make in order to find a perfect, flat out, body soft and heavy posture. Close your eyes, let your eyeballs sink into their sockets. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax the jaw. Turn your palms up in the open and receiving position. Arms far enough away from your body that you feel your shoulder and shoulder blades connecting with the floor, especially your shoulders. Your shoulder blades will be. Let your feet splay out and let everything go. So once again, I have Stephen Levine's book, A Year to Live. I talked to you about it last week. It's one of my favorite books for bringing meaning. It's not a depressing book, one iota. It is full of meaning, and I don't like to use the word urgency, but on the other hand, I think there is a sense of urgency that with the lives that we have that are short, some days may seem long, but I think that our lives are really short. And I think that every day we have an opportunity to develop virtues that bring us peace, happiness, and joy. Virtues such as compassion, virtues such as patience, kindness, awareness. So he says here, cultivating a deeper awareness, because awareness has a healing quality. Where awareness is focused, the deepest potentials for clarity and balance present themselves. And I think to be clear about the essence and the preciousness of all life forms, your life, Mother Nature, everyone on the planet, and to find a balance between doing and being, between active and stillness. This is, and these are, the ways to promote a life well lived, a day that has joy, and a heart that's full of gratitude. Thank you, as always, for sharing your yoga practice with me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.